Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful January morning. This is actually January 29th, about 9:30 in the morning. I'm just getting outside to go work on some projects. Sun is out, it's a clear blue day. It was pretty cold last night, not really, but I think about 25 degrees. And here in Oklahoma, being what it is, I think we have a high of 69 today that's forecast. So we have frost on the ground, and this afternoon we should be in t-shirts, maybe. But I thought I'd do something a little different today and kind of give you a little bit of a behind the scenes of Garage Story. This is pretty normal, trying to start around 9 o'clock on a Saturday, sometimes 8, sometimes later, but you know, I work a full-time job, so Saturday is my day off, and it's nice to take it easy in the morning because I normally get up fairly early, you know, 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6:30, whatever. And we've got all these projects, and that's why I don't get things done as quick as I'd like, because I'm working all the time, which is good. It's good to be busy, but I don't want to be too busy. So I spend a lot of spare time with my family. But so today, I've got a lot of different projects I could work on, which I've been working on filming separately. And I've got some ideas for some other projects I might be starting up. But for one, I've got mowers backing up over here because I brought them home and I haven't put them away because I just finished reorganizing some of that back there. And this is my scrap area. A lot of scrap that needs to be taken in for scrap. That's kind of redundant. So I get mowers here, and quite oftentimes I do it on my way home from work, or for whatever reason. It could be the end of the day, or it could be busy, and I don't really have a lot of time to put them away and properly process them. And to me, processing them is putting them into my book, saying how far I drove and where I picked them up and the day I picked them up, and any issues or whatever that I can remember that the previous owner told me of, to give me a head start on working on them. I'll be honest, I get behind on that stuff sometimes because I don't like doing little details like that. It's something I could get better at. So these mowers have been sitting here a while because it's been kind of the slow season, so I haven't really been pushed to move them on. Now, and when it's really cold out, I don't like to do certain projects. So we might see if I can't clean up some of this today, because it's been sitting out here a while. Need to enter them into the book and see if I can remember what anybody told me about what's wrong with them. Thankfully, since I do video a lot of the pickups, I can actually look back at my video if I want to, the raw footage. So that would be something nice to get done today. I don't know if it will get done. Let's see, what else do I have going on? We've got these perpetual dirt work projects going on. So back here, I was scooping out the section that's really muddy and dumping it way down there. That takes quite a bit of time. I think I've got most of it out. And the plan is to, well, see those concrete slabs right over there? The plan is to take those concrete slabs and put them along the back of the shop here. And in doing that, to get everything level, I'm gonna move all that dirt over into the hole. That's kind of the plan there. It's just, it takes a lot of time to move a lot of dirt, and that may not look like a lot of dirt, but when you start getting into it, it's a lot of dirt, at least for the machine I have, which is a Terramite T5C front end loader backhoe, and then my dad's Kubota. My goal with this shop is to take this roof pitch, which is like this, and flip it up like that, so that is the low point, because inside there's not a lot of headroom as you get towards the back. But to flip the roof like that, so it drains off to the front, what's currently the front, and then take these garage doors and install them all down the back and have the concrete slabs there. So this will be what I consider the working side of the shop. That way it'll help reduce all the mowers and clutter that builds up at front of it, a building by the doors, which I need to work on that, not getting stuff built up like that, but at the same time, that's just part of having a working shop, and you need to stage stuff or whatever. So I want all that to be back here. I don't want it to be in between the shop and the house. I'd like to keep that area clean and orderly and like a nice yard, and keep all the mower stuff back here. This is the barnyard. The dirt work over here is going quite well. Again, it just takes a long time to move dirt, especially if I don't have like a solid day to work on it, because it's my day off. It's Saturday, so I also spend time with the family working on the machinery sometimes, or just the fact the machinery is small, then I come to an obstacle, I have to figure out what to do about it. It just takes a long time. But we're getting this to a good place. My major goal here is to have this done by springtime, which isn't that far away now, probably a month or two. I think we'll be okay, because it should drain a lot better already with just a little bit of cleanup work. So that's coming quite right along. We need to get some calculations figured out to see if our 4-inch drain pipe is going to handle everything, which I think from what I've heard, it should be just fine. That's more updates of what's going on around here. But a day in the life of is kind of what this is supposed to be. I've got so many different projects, it's sometimes hard to figure out what to focus on. So I locked the shop. It's hard sometimes trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? How hard should I work? Because I'm doing this on Saturdays and after work on weekdays. And there was a period in there where I was getting up at like 4 in the morning and doing work before going to work, which is why we have some videos in the dark. So here's what we have going on in the shop. This mower, I brought it in here to try to jump start that one, but this one needs a little bit of work. We have a video on this one when I got this picked up and figured out the drivetrain issue, which is really just a belt issue. I need to reseal the valve covers on here. That's so oily. That one's not too bad, but it looks like it could use it. So I'll probably try to do both of those. This air filter housing is really loose and not held down. So we have a new one of these air filter housings, and it's missing one of those hinge nubs, although it doesn't seem to be an issue. That one's broken. So we have a new air filter and air filter cover, and I'm going to try to take this decal off and glue it onto the new air filter cover, because so you can still see it's a Kohler 23 horse, and it's got a baffle that needs to be straightened out and put back on and cleaned up basically. So this mower is really pretty good, and I want to have that ready to sell here and not too long. This John Deere, this has been a headache. Not itself, but trying to get an engine to put in there. For some reason, I kept running into issues on whatever engine I had. I guess this is only the second one, but the first one I just had so much trouble trying to get it running right. It's like, why is this so hard? Because I sold many engines, but for some reason the one I picked to put in there just kept not running quite right. So today my goal is going to be to work on this project, getting that engine finished up. That should be a good video. So I'll be like trying to work on that, possibly working on this one right here, possibly working on putting up those mowers, but I may not film that because, or at least not for a regular video, because I've done that so many times I think it's kind of boring, and I already have a video coming out of picking up those mowers, and normally that would go in the same video. So I got that going on, and oh yeah, this mower right here, I would like to see if I can get that one running, because I don't think it has any major issues, but I don't know yet. So I'd love to video getting that running, because that's just kind of fun, getting something running. I enjoy that. And back over by the house, the four-wheeler, I need to rebuild the carburetor on that. So I've got a video series already going on that one. Nothing published, I've just been videoing, working on it. But it'd be really nice to have the four-wheeler going so we can like have fun riding around the yard and use it to pull stuff around. So I have all these things going through my head whenever I'm trying to work on stuff. I've just got so many projects and so little time, because I also am trying to part stuff out. I have this mower sitting here because it needs a transmission taken out, and that I need to try to figure out how I want to sell it, how much is it worth, wash it off, take pictures. That's why I have this stuff sitting on that cart over there. That stuff that I have washed off. Actually, it looks like I haven't washed that. That one I have washed off, and it needs a new seal. It looked like it was leaking right around there. So I may need to put some new seals on that before I sell it as a used transmission, because I want somebody to be happy when they buy it. I want it to work out well. this one here. It's been sitting here for a really long time because the wheel is frozen onto the axle, so I can't get the transmission entirely out, and that is super annoying. I used a gear puller on a similar situation and I could not get the wheel off. It was so frustrating. So things like that sit around, and I finally realized, you know, it's just becomes a waste of time. So that's why I've got a John Deere transaxle sitting here that I am not going to be taking out to sell because I cannot get the axle off. I even started trying to cut it off. I drilled holes, used a puller, I started pulling out the holes, I hammered it, I put lots of lubricant oil on there, whatever, penetrating oil, WD-40, whatever, and I tried over multiple days and I could not get that thing out of there. And I realized if I'm selling this thing for 150 bucks, how much time am I going to put into it? Which is really hard for me to see the money, the potential money going bye-bye, but if I'm wasting so much time on it, it's not worth it. So those are things I'm learning. This one I haven't really tried hard the second time to get it out, so I'm at least gonna do that. But you know, it just sits there until then. Anyway, that mower has been in the shop all last summer. It was one of the first mowers I got last year. And it had flat tire issues. The belts, I bought a new belt, which is to me expensive, like $35 or whatever. And it kind of started shredding that belt up. And I'm like, what's going on? The engine was slightly smoky, so it's like, well, I can't really part it out. Would someone want to buy it? I think I paid like $275 for it, $250. So how much am I going to get for it if I sell it? But a bright spot is one of the free Cub Cadet, the two Cub Cadet zero turns I picked up with no engines, one of them has parts that'll work on here, so that may help. But it's been sitting in the shop like for months, and the shop isn't that big, and I probably should have taken it out, but this one's been in the shop for a long time, so I'm real excited about getting this one out. That one just came in to pull the engine out, and of course this one already works. But getting that one out, and then maybe getting this Cub Cadet out. And over here, this is just kind of a cool old mower I put in here because the previous owner had kept it like in a garage and told me the whole story. He'd owned since almost new, or his uncle had bought it new in like 1980s. And I don't know what to do with it because I don't think it's gonna be worth a ton parting out, but I don't know that it's worth a lot whole. So I just put it in here to keep it somewhat protected. The reality is I'd have to figure out something. I could leave it in here forever, but that's not gonna help. This is where I'm storing some of the parts I've got listed for sale, and I need to get a better shelf in here. So there's all sorts of projects I could be working on, and it's just a juggling act, trying to figure out which ones are gonna pay off and which ones the weather and the day and the time frame are suited for. Today I'm hoping to get in 8 hours of work, so I'll probably get in maybe 6 hours of work, and I really want to get this engine swap working out well and probably work on this one as well. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of behind the scenes of my thought process and what's going on. It's kind of fun. I really enjoy doing this kind of work, and who knows, we may be doing more of it in the future. I have some plans for this spring. We may start up a servicing business and add that to the things we do and start servicing mowers, and that could be a interesting venture. See how that goes if we go ahead and do that. So that's a quick behind the scenes, and I may do some more behind the scenes today as the day goes on, so you guys get a better idea about me and how I think and work on stuff. A little bit different perspective from the video that's focused on a particular project. Let's get back to it. So it's about 11:30 in the morning, and we've got this engine back together. It seems to be running well. And since I part stuff out, I'm gonna see if I can't take this opportunity to try to drive around and test run the transmission and stuff. And then I can know if I can sell the transmission, which would be great. But unfortunately, the battery for this mower is not in it, and the battery that's here came out of this mower, which is kind of blocking the way out of the shop. So I may have to push this mower out by hand. May have to push this one out by hand and see if I can drive this one out. Start by airing up the tires. So far so good. Things always take a little longer than you think. That's just part of life. You think I can get this mower out of here through there? Is that enough room? Maybe, kind of, sort of. Forward and backwards about a foot, okay, after I engaged the transmission on the back because I had the bypass on. But yeah, I can't turn left, it just slips left. I can turn right, but I gotta turn left to get out of here. So I can just try to pick it up and turn it, but I need to get it out of here, so we'll do something. Okay, so I used the dolly to get this thing out of here. It's interesting how it will turn one direction but not the other. I'm gonna try to get down into the field somewhere where I can test it out a little bit better because I can't turn. So it's gonna be awkward because I have another left turn to get down through here. So I may pull forward and back up to my left, to my right, and then go down. If you can only turn one direction, you can kind of make it work if you have enough room. So yeah, let's see how this works out. Transmission seems to work great. The steering, not so much. The transmission, it's slow in reverse and fast in forward, so I think it's just somebody has adjusted it a little bit so that it's more towards the forward direction. And I think the transmission itself works fine because it was slipping its wheels going backwards up the hill. So it's got power and seems to work fine. So it's just a matter of adjustment, I think, which kind of depends on the linkage in the particular mower. So I'd be fine selling that transmission as a good running transmission. So anyway, I think it's time to pull that engine out and move on with that project. Let's get back to it. All right, we're making good headway. Got that over in the working area so I can work on those valve cover gaskets. Got this one staged here right next to it, so it should be easy to pull. And it's getting close to lunchtime. It is 12:17, so I might stop for lunch and let that engine cool down a little bit before working on it, but it sure runs good. Okay, so it's just after 1:30 in the afternoon. I took about an hour lunch break, spent some time with the family, and man, it's actually like 64 degrees out here and clear blue skies and sunny. It's so gorgeous out here. Let's see what we get done this afternoon. Afternoons tend to go by quickly. Morning seems to be where it's at for the most part, but it's just hard to start super early. I think we made some really good headway this morning. Things went pretty smoothly, and we'll see. I still have basically 3 projects I kind of want to get done today. One is getting this engine swap like pretty much ready to test run. I don't know if I can or not, because we might be a little low on fluid in here. I'll have to check on the transmission fluid. Of course, it's kind of picked up right now, but so I'm gonna have to swap all the stuff over on the engines, and anyway, that's part of the engine video, the engine swap video, and possibly try to put the gasket sealant on those valve cover gaskets there, because that's gonna take some time. Like, you put it on and there's a lot of waiting and then torquing and stuff. So torquing, I just go, that's tight now. I do have a torque wrench, but I don't really use it for stuff like that. Maybe I should. So that's the main project. That's a side project that we may work on in the middle of it, and that's not going to be a complete video what I could get done on it today, because there's several fix-up things, and I want to kind of combine it all them all into one part 2 video for that mower. It is a little after 5. No, it's right exactly at 5:30, and it's getting cooler outside. It got up to like 66 or something, maybe 70. Now it's down to 63. I got the long shirt back on. I was hoping to be done not much later than this, but the engine swap has not gone as I was hoping, which seems to be a common theme. It's gone really well today, but I just came into another obstacle where the crankshafts are different on the 2 engines, which I didn't realize. So I think I'm gonna need to swap over here, shift gears, and try to get these taken care of, the number 2 project. And once I get those on there and it's curing up, I may go ahead and fire up the backhoe and move those mowers out there and let the John Deere project sit for right now, because then that way we've made major headway on this project, get that one in a good spot, and then get the yard cleaned up. So sound like a plan. Let's see if we can do it. Vlog update. So it took longer to clean off those surfaces for the sealant than I thought it would. So now it's too late for me to put the gasket maker on there, because then it's going to be too late when it's time for it to be torqued up. So I should have done that earlier in the day, and I kind of don't have any excuse for it, except for I was just really trying to get this project done. But we're closer than we were on that one as well. And this is how I end up in the middle of a gajillion projects. So we've got a little bit of daylight left. Let's see if we can't move some mowers and at least get the yard looking a little bit cleaner. That'd be a good thing to do. Okay, so this is the end of the vlog for the day. So the time is 6:28. I need to be done at 6:30, and I'm just basically going to pick up some of my tools I like to keep inside and organize just a teensy bit, because I kind of have everything where I need it for various projects that we do need to get done soon. But we got 3 of those 5 mowers moved. One of them, ones I did not, the 2 that I did not, was actually still on the trailer, which I would have needed to hitch up the truck to the trailer again, so I wouldn't catapult the trailer or catapult me, whatever. Anyway, so we got those 3 mowers put away, and we got partway through this project, and we got a lot of the way through this project until we came to that major hiccup. So that's kind of the way a day in the life goes here at the Garage Story shop, and that's fine. I think things are gonna continually get better, except for when they don't. But it's just kind of the way things go sometimes. Projects don't go as planned. We can edit them and make them look like they go as planned, or we can leave in some of the problems, we can leave in all the problems. If we left in all the problems we always had, videos would be way too long, because some things last over the course of months. Like this engine swap, I had a different engine I was going to put in there, and I spent a ton of time trying to get that other engine running, and that would be boring to watch me take a carburetor off and on about, I have no idea how many times it was, 10 times, 5 times. It was a lot of times swapping carburetors. So there's a lot of stuff that gets edited out in order to make content that is interesting, hopefully, and informative. But yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to do a little bit of behind the scenes, a day in the life of. And I only have one camera really, so it's hard to take a video of me taking a video, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to use time lapses a lot more now to make it easier to edit, take less space and less time. And also, a lot of the tasks I do are somewhat monotonous or something I've already done and filmed it before, so it may not make sense to film it in regular time. But I don't know, you guys can always comment and say what you think. But man, it's hard to keep a shop clean. Stuff just piles up in the middle of a project, like all those carburetors from working on the John Deere this time around. I started about 9:30, it's about 6:30, and I took about an hour lunch, so can't do math real fast in my head, but I think that's 8 hours. Yeah, I put in 8 hours and I didn't officially complete any project, and that's kind of normal. So maybe I'll do another day in the life of where I actually complete a project, but you never know what day you're going to complete something sometimes. So anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.